a guy, I think he bought a loft building in the Bowery, like the entire building.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the Lower East Side or East Village, something like that. The entire building, and you could live there for free. And the only deal was there was a camera in every room, and everything would be videotaped and put online 24/7. And this was like in the 90s or early 2000s before people were online. And people started freaking out. I think there were a bunch of lawsuits, but like there were videos of people having sex and stuff like that.
Yeah,
just
but
living
it's
in
all
this house. Consensual?
It's all consensual, right?
Sure, yeah.
So what's the big deal?
I don't know. I didn't I don't remember the name of the project, and I there's a documentary on it that I've been meaning to watch, but there are actually people have done, and I think he went out of business, but he made some money online, and then he funded this project where he just wanted to film people and then sell, like, I don't know if he was going to sell advertisements on the stream
so it's
or
basically,
what.
It's basically like the real world.
Yeah, it's like the real world, but it's not edited.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just a live stream.
Yeah, the
Big Brother.
really graphic world.
And it's not filtered out for like basic people who are going to get into little arguments. It's like whoever wants to come do it.
It's so funny because you're like, okay, you get to see him fuck, you get to
Yeah.
see him eat, you get to see him sleep, piss,
Yeah.
and shit, right?
Yeah.
But that'd be funny if it was like, let's say someone got a stomach bug,
Yeah.
and then
They have diarrhea.
for the whole week, you're just watching somebody run to the toilet every 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah, we have
to,
different ideas of fun.
You know what I mean? But it was like, that's also something that that would also be
What's something
interesting
you've
to
never
watch.
seen before?
No, that's something I've never seen before, just to be like, well, you look at Instagram, everyone's life is so perfect and like
Oh, right. You
edited.
don't
You're
see
like,
the absolute
yeah,
disasters.
you don't get to see like a week of diarrhea.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is it happens in people. It's inevitable that
Yeah.
someone's gonna have that. Or you get to see someone have diarrhea, and then someone else get in the room, and then like a week later they get the bug, and you
Right,
get to
right.
see different things. That's
Yeah.
it. You know what? I would subscribe to that.
Most of your interests are diarrhea related.
I had
I've
diarrhea
noticed.
today.
Yeah.
Before
Yeah.
you came over here, I was like, dude,
Yeah.
my ass is a fucking mess right now.
You said my ass is exploding.
My ass is
Yeah.
exploding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I hate myself.
What
Yeah.
What did you eat? What do you think got you sick?
What got me sick? It was just being too bold too many days in a row.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, pizza. We're doing pizza again. It's just hamburgers,
Pizza
greasy
pizza
thing.
doesn't, none of that shit
Just-
does anything.
No, but like 3 or 4 days of just pure greasy food. And
Yeah.
then last night I went out, and this comic's friend works for Truly, the
Yeah.
seltzer.
Yeah.
So I was gonna get a beer, but she gets free Trulies.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it, let's go. And I had a
It's
couple.
CBD seltzer.
No, it's just a hard seltzer.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I just got 2 hard seltzers.
Yeah.
And now today it was just fucking payback.
None of these sound like foods that would cause that.
What gives you diarrhea? Hello, everybody. This is diarrhea talk.
Thai food,
Yeah.
Indian food, Mexican food.
Yeah.
You know, spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had Thai food on Friday, so maybe that was the first.
I love how you omit that.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I did have a hard seltzer, so that's probably that.
Yeah.
And not the most famous diarrhea cuisine of all time.
Is Thai food the most famous diarrhea cuisine of all time?
I actually was working on a bit like this, but there's certain foods, Indian food, Mexican food, and Thai food that like most of the, like after you have it, you're almost guaranteed to have diarrhea. And it's like, okay, I get it that when you do that occasionally, but how does a country operate when all the country's food gives everybody diarrhea?
The truth is, it's that their system is used to whatever bacteria is in there, and they know how to deal with it. No, I'm sure. I bet you Thai people are like, don't go to Italy. The food will make you shit your pants.
No way.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it works like that.
You think it's a hygiene thing?
No.
Because that's racist.
No, I don't think it's a
It's fucking
hygiene
racist,
thing.
man. Wow.
I don't think it's a hygiene thing. Because I
Racist
get it
Santi's
because I
back.
get it here. I get the fucking food here, and it makes me sick.
Yeah, they
And
come
there's-
over to this country with their bad hygiene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think it's certain spices, greasy, the combination, like green curry will almost always fucking just run through me, and I think it's the coconut milk. Something about coconut milk in combination with spice just like fucking clears you out.
I agree. I avoid things with like a coconut soup.
Yeah. Oh,
Forget-
that'll destroy you.
Yeah. I
Well-
mean, I'm a cannon in 20 minutes.
Right, but then
Yeah.
yeah, so that like how does Thailand work?
You
Where
could
like
repaint your house.
you're robbing a house and the cop's like, stop right there, and then he gets diarrhea. You know, like nothing fucking happens. You finally go to court and the judge gets diarrhea and he's like, bailiff, take him to jail. The bailiff gets fucking diarrhea. Like nobody can do anything because everyone just constantly has diarrhea.
The
right?
plumber's like, I'll get over there in a
Yeah.
little bit,
He's
but
like, I'm sorry, I'm running late. We're really backed up.
it's like, hey man, we got our own problems
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
Yeah.
And the reason I thought of that is because I fucking had Thai food and then I had to move. Yeah, like I had to go get boxes, and I almost shit my pants at Home Depot. I went to fucking Home Depot carrying boxes, and I'm just like sweating, and it's one of those like I'm gonna explode the second I get home, and please God let it be once I'm inside. And and not like on my stoop in front of children, just diarrhea dripping out of my fucking shorts.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
Yeah, when you shit your pants in front of kids when
for
you're
free.
Moving.
They don't even pay.
Yeah,
you know, subscribe to my fucking Patreon if you want to watch that.
To watch you move or shit your pants or both.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. I gotta to watch me shit my pants. Obviously, to move. Who gives a shit?
How's the new place?
It's if you want to talk about that, it's like a 30-minute discussion about that.
How about we talk about the actual scam going on in the comedy community right now?
Sure. I mean, it's a standard scam that we've seen before, but this time it's specifically targeting comedians. And it's very funny.
Yeah, it's extremely funny because it's almost like the guy is. I almost feel like the guy doing it is a failed comic.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. It was like a fucking guy who ran an open mic.
Yeah.
And then like people didn't say thank you enough or some shit like this.
And now he's taking their money.
Right. Well, no, it's almost like, all right, so let's say what the scam is. Renan, who was on last week, posted about this, and apparently another comic fell for it too. But how it works is a guy messages you and he goes, hey, I want you to roast some celebrities. Can you roast some celebrities and other public figures, blah, blah, make a video. We'll pay you $300. You make the video. The guy deposits a $3,000 check in your bank account. And then he says, hey, I put too much in there. Can you send back $2,500 or $2,700 or whatever? He's like, I added an extra zero. Keep a little extra for yourself, whatever. The comics send it back, and then because they don't understand money, because they're fucking, I don't know how.
I wouldn't have, by the way, I wouldn't have done this. This is how I know it's incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
Is that I wouldn't have fallen for this.
I would call the bank and be like, hey, is this money in my account for good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Or if you want to be a dick, just keep it. Right?
Yeah. Also, it says on your bank statement, it doesn't say, it says processing or pending.
Right. So then anyway, so people send back like 80 or 90% of the money. And then the check bounces, and then you lost the money, and then you're out now $2,500+
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happened to Renan. Who else did it happen to?
I don't know who else it was, but now I'm seeing all the comics post about it. And yeah, it's just such a perfect scam because if anybody knows comedians, it's like, of course, number one, they're desperate for money, but also they're like so ego driven that they would never question like, oh, somebody I've never heard of wants me to make jokes for $300. Well, of course that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
But it's also, here's the thing. It's
How could they not?
It's such a specific thing they're asking for that it almost doesn't seem like a scam. You know?
Right.
It's like I do this one specific thing. Why would anyone base a scam off of this? Because they're only going to be able to make money off of so many. The pool of people that they can prey upon is so small.
Yeah.
So that's what makes me think that it's just a really bitter comic.
No, I don't.
Who's like, fuck these people. I'm just gonna take their fucking money.
I think you could literally just go through show flyers and message every single one of those, and they're all tagged on Instagram.
I think like right now there's a comic who's like, yo, I made $7,000 in comedy this year, and it's just in comedy. It's like, well, I steal money from comics, but yeah,
right, yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if this was actually just a club doing it. like they're like, oh, you want to be passed? Yeah, you have to do a roast joke video for us for $300.
This is Broadway Comedy Club right here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. This is the old Dangerfields.
Like, did you do the bringer? Okay. Did you also do the roast video? Oh, whoops! We sent you $3,000. Yeah. Can you send it back? And people are like, you have to do the scam 2 or 3 times, but eventually they'll audition you.
Yeah.
You just got to do this scam.
Get ripped off 2 or 3 times.
Right.
I had actually, I know we shouldn't talk about comedy, but this is very scam related. Yeah. So
okay.
I had a comic. I was talking to him, and he goes, instead of doing these shitty bringers, I'm thinking of asking the booker how much they would make off of the bringers and just pay them the money to do it.
Yeah.
Is that insane to you?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you do that?
Well, the reason it doesn't work is because you need audience for the show. So
yes,
and also so you can pay, but if everybody did that,
then it would be an empty room.
Then it would be an empty room, and it would defeat the purpose. But also,
and a club owner with like $8 grand and an empty room.
That would be hilarious.
Like,
actually,
this is great.
That would be much more honest. If it was just like you pay $500 and and like 30 people pay $500 and perform to nobody. and then at least you know what you actually got out of it.
Yeah, it's
And
very,
then
yeah, it's honest like that.
the club owner watches you, and if you're a hot girl, he's like, "You've got talent."
Yeah, yeah.
That's it. That would be actually great. That could be a little fucking sketch, but nobody would get it outside of the comedy community.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's true. Yeah.
Because if you look at it like that, it is really such a very ridiculous thing where it's like you're paying $500 to perform to nobody. Like they still make them do the show to nobody, and then they tell them how they did.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
That's exactly it.
God, my Broadway audition was soul sucking.
I was there with not only that, with Julieta's dad.
Yeah.
She brought her dad, who I don't know how good his English is, but it was one of those things where he's like, I can't tell if it's my English or the comedy is the worst comedy you've seen in your life.
Oh. Did he say that?
The look on his face.
He's like, what the fuck is this?
When he woke up, he was annoyed to still be there.
No. Did he sleep? That's hilarious.
I think he was just trying to. You've been through shows, not even necessarily just fucking comedy shows or bringers, but where you're just staring at the clock, but for some reason you can't leave. It's your friend's show or some shit like that.
Crazy
fucking
torture.
Brutal.
My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so what else is going on this week? You moved, and it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. I can tell that whole story. It's a long story. If you want.
First of all, what made you move so fast?
I just saw. So here's the. I'll just fucking start talking about it, and then we can get into it. I have a couple notes, but so one of my roommates was moving out, and we got the new lease, and we were like, hey, we're getting off the lease. Our one roommate's getting off the lease. We need to add somebody else to the lease, and the landlord's like, okay, fine. And then I just always have Street Easy alerts on. For the minute apartments become available, I'll take a look at them.
I had to stop those alerts.
I just deleted it. Yeah. Once you get an apartment, it's like being in a relationship, right? It's like once you're in a relationship, you delete the dating apps because otherwise you can drive yourself insane.
Yes.
Just comparing and thinking, what if?
Yeah.
Okay, but so
also I feel like a scumbag if I've had there were a couple times where right after I started seeing this girl, where I got an alert and I started scrolling and I was like, what am I doing? I'm not going to act on this. Well, and now I'm like, and then all of a sudden it just opens like a doorway in your head that you're like, let's not even go there. Yeah.
And I think that's the difference between being young and being old, to be honest with you. When you're younger, you're really in love with what if, You're in love with the possibility and the potential. And as you get older, you learn to appreciate what you have and be like, what am I going to fucking sit here fantasizing about all these girls and maybe going out with them and maybe fucking them. And then now all you've done is now you got to think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just with these apps, it's hard to be content. Because
but then you delete them.
You're getting the alert of because if you don't delete them, you're just getting the alert of something potentially better.
Right. Yeah. But that's the whole thing. But there's always going to be something potentially better in your mind, and then, so we don't live in a totally monogamous society. I mean, I think it is the dominant culture, but you have that period where you start seeing somebody and then you're like, well, we haven't had a discussion. So it's 2 weeks in and somebody messages you like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
I like your thing. Yeah.
What's the margin before you have that discussion or before the assumption between the two of you?
I think it depends on your age and who you are.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. Anyways. Yeah. So it's like that. So anyways, I for a while, I kind of wanted to get a 1-bedroom and I was toying with it earlier. And then earlier this year, I signed a lease and then backed out and lost $1,800.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
I guess, yeah. I almost did it again. So then I saw this place, and it's very run down, but it's the 4th floor of a tenement building. It's a full railroad. Yeah. It's 850 square feet in Greenpoint in a good location. And it's $1,800 and it's rent stabilized for the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is a good deal and I could get a roommate. And then I jumped on it. So I saw it on a Thursday. I signed the lease on a Friday. I came back and I told my roommates, I'm also leaving. Okay. It gets extremely complicated. When I said I was leaving, our landlord was like, well, we only let you have the rent you have because you guys were friends with the former tenant who vouched for you, who we were close friends with. So now that he's leaving, we're going to need to raise the rent.
Okay.
So everybody in the apartment hates me now because I left, the rent went up. And I'm still living there. Okay,
You're not living there right now.
I was still living there at the time.
Okay,
for
for
that.
So
that
what's
week.
that situation like? Why don't I have the feeling if I sat down and
Yeah.
interviewed your roommates individually,
Yeah.
I would get some amazing stories
No, I'm a
that
very.
would make me feel good.
I am a very good roommate.
I'd be like,
I've,
it's not in my head, thank God.
fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
I've repeated this so many times. I am such an
I believe-
amazingly good roommate.
I believe that you are a good roommate
Yeah.
in certain ways.
Yeah.
In ways that you are clean.
Yeah.
And if you
Responsible.
and responsible,
Yeah.
and if somebody asked you to do something or somebody gives you responsibility, it is done
Yeah.
in the appropriate time period. So there's not going to be an issue on that. But
I'm loud. That's it.
you're you're loud,
Yeah.
and which is huge.
Yeah.
By the way, you
Yeah.
know, it's like he's good except for this. Oh yeah, baby, I wanna be a musician. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go to the park. Yeah, like that all day. You know.
Yeah.
Like
It's not that loud.
that's I'm sure you're pretty loud, and
Two of my roommates say they don't hear it at all.
and
Like they don't hear me singing at all.
I think
That's
they're-
what they say.
Oh really? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
you know, I believe them to be liars.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
One guy, the guy right above me, is like, "Yeah, I hear it."
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's got to be insane.
Okay. Anyways, so I tell them I'm moving out. All of a sudden, like we're trying to fill.
Did
the,
they hate? How do you know they hate you?
Well, one guy was like, "What?" It's just like overnight they were like, "Oh, we're not going to let you," because we had another person who wanted the room,
Yeah.
my room. So then we're like, "Okay, we have 4 people. Can we get these people on the lease?" And they're like, "Oh no, if there's only one person left who knew the previous guy, Marcel, we're gonna have to raise the rent because we're taking too much of a risk with 3 unknown people." And then I'm like, okay, so
That's fair.
I feel like everybody's annoyed. Meanwhile, the landlords take forever to send somebody to appraise it to say the new rent. So we don't know the new rent. The new tenants don't know if they're going to be on. Meanwhile, I go to this building. I look at it and I'm like, okay, this could be great. It's got a lot of issues. It's got a lot of issues, and I encountered more as I went into it. But then I realized when I signed the lease that the address was different than the one on Street Easy. It was the building next door. And so then I looked it up, and the building next door had 0 violations at all. And then the building that I had signed the lease for had hundreds of violations.
Yeah, you sent me the thing. I saw the violations.
Dozens and dozens and dozens.
Now the thing about these violations that I saw that we both noticed.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. So dozens and dozens and dozens of violations. There's Department of Building, HPD, Housing and Preservation Development. Just one of them was like, there's a partial vacate order on the building. There's there was a fire at some point. There's all this shit that hasn't been checked. I found a bed bug report from 2011 that they had. I was like, holy shit, what the fuck did I just sign up for? I talked to everybody. I talked to my friend Ian has a friend at the Department of Buildings, it's like his dad's friend. So it's like a 60-year-old guy.
Yeah.
I talked to him and he's like, "Oh boy, you got to get out of there, man.
Yeah.
You shouldn't fucking do this."
I swear to God, like real estate people
Yeah.
are, because my real estate, my mom's friend, the real estate
Yeah.
thing is the same thing. She's like, get out of there, don't
Yeah.
pay, don't
Yeah.
do anything.
Well, but it's
Tell them to go fuck themselves,
it's-
disappear. There's nothing they can do. Get out of it.
right, exactly. But then it's also he's like, you got points of egress, you got a fire escape, you got both doors. Yeah, I mean, you could live there. It's a 50-50 gamble if it's going to be good or bad. But he was like, Greenpoint, $1,800. Who's paying $1,800 for Greenpoint? And I was like, when's the last time you were in Greenpoint? He's like, 40 years ago. That place is a dump.
Oh, so yeah.
So,
Who is this guy?
it's just a 60-year-old guy who used to live in Brooklyn, lives in Long Island now, works for a Department of Buildings, and he does inspections.
Okay,
Right.
but yeah, he should know. He should
No,
be a
he
little bit
does
more
know.
than
No, I mean, he does know. I'm exaggerating, but he was like, the numbers people are telling me for Greenpoint are mind blowing. Meanwhile, I'm like $1,800 for a 1-bedroom, and it's set up so that I can rent out one of the rooms.
Yeah.
I can rent out and split the rent in half.
Yeah.
It's fucking cheaper than what I was paying before,
Yeah.
which also got bumped up by another $175.
Okay, each.
Yeah, each.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. Or 150 each, depending on the room. My room would have been 175. up.
Yeah.
Okay, great. The guy's like, don't do it. But then he's like, oh, a lot of these violations, they're all for the same unit. And he goes, oh, I see. And there were 30 in one day. He was like, okay, so what's happening here is probably the person that was in your unit was they wanted to go to court, so they had to get a bunch of violations on record so that they could go to court and be like, look at 30 violations that I made in one day.
Yeah.
And so they'd stop paying rent. So I asked the realtor, and I'm like, hey, you fucking lied to me. I'm like, at this point, I'm trying to get out of it. I was like, should I get out of it? I looked at a one room across the street. I found a room across the street that was the same size and price as my old room, so I could have just done that.
Yeah.
Right?
Across the street from your old
From my
place.
current apartment.
Yeah, okay.
So I could have stayed in the same part of it was I wanted to move out of Bed-Stuy because I've lived there for a long time.
Yeah.
And I feel like the area where I live doesn't have any restaurants or anywhere I would hang out really, and it's like I've kind of had enough of it.
Yeah.
But in general, the entire idea with this move was I felt like, then at a certain point I was scared and I was like, I have to get rid of this apartment. And then I felt like, am I just a fucking, did I get greedy? Did I get greedy and I wanted a better situation that I thought that I could make it cheaper or nicer? And now I've turned my life upside down. And before, when I was in Bed-Stuy, I had a warm, safe place where I knew that I could work. And now I don't, right?
Yeah.
And for like 2 days, I was worried that the building was going to kill me. And then when I talked to the DOB guy, he was like, the building's not going to kill you.
What do you mean the building is going to kill you? Like there's going to be a fire
it had
and
a
you're going to
vacate. There's an open order that says everybody has to move out. But it's from 5 years ago.
And people are in there.
People are in there. People are moving in. But I think it's just
What kind of people are in there?
I'll tell you about that in a second. I think it's a Polish landlord and it's mostly Polish people in there.
Okay.
Old Polish people. The fucking hallway is
Greenpoint.
is the most disgusting. The hallway to get to the apartment is fine.
Yeah.
The hallway smells like cat piss, and it's 3 levels, and each level smells more like cat piss somehow. It's some fucking weird trick. I don't know what it is.
Well, I guess we know where the cats like to piss the most.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the place makes no fucking sense.
Maybe they start peeing upstairs. By the time they get downstairs, they're out of piss.
Right. I looked up the building. It was built in 1930. This is how old it is. There's a sign that says no peddlers. It says no peddlers or agents.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Yeah, which is probably why I don't have an agent.
Yeah. Or a peddler.
That's fine. I don't, or a peddler. Yeah, honestly.
We're gonna see anything issues. It's like I'm a peddler. Is that an issue?
Is that cool?
Yeah.
The lease very strictly says no dogs. And also, meanwhile, I'm like, hey, this is a 1-bedroom. Maybe if my girlfriend wants to move in with me eventually, this is a place where we could do it and I wouldn't have to have a roommate. And then she comes over and I was like, would you live here? And she goes, oh no.
Really?
She goes, no fucking way.
Really? What kind of, see, here's the thing. You're such a clean guy.
Well, here's the thing.
That I, like, the fact that you even said yes to this in the first place is mind-blowing to me.
I'm clean, but I don't mind if things are run down. I don't need things to be nice. I need them to be clean.
Okay.
Right? So it's like the fridge, old as fuck, freezer doesn't work. I've learned. The stove wasn't on. She says if I get National Grid, they'll turn it on. But as of right now, the stove doesn't work. I have a hot plate. The kitchen, it's just like she got one of her. I was like, I want to tear down this wall because she put a fucking bedroom in the living room, or sorry, in the kitchen, and there's one big window in the kitchen. Now it's in the bedroom, so it blocks off light from half the apartment. I was like, I want to tear this down. She was like, no, you can't. I paid for it, and I saw reports that it's been there over a decade because it's also illegal to do that. And then she goes, well, yeah, I didn't pay, but my friend made.
Okay, so all right.
So she barters with I'm guessing Polish construction workers who she knows.
Yeah, this is what. Yeah. My idea is that this is just an old woman that doesn't give a fuck
Yes,
who's just ignoring everything.
Yeah.
And
so you can live there and you can get that price and you can do whatever you want there, but it's also you're gonna get very little out of the landlord.
Yeah.
I think heat and hot water you're gonna get. Yeah. Electricity. But beyond that, it's kind of like it's up to you. So the kitchen is a disaster. It's just like cabinets, and then it's like they bought the shit from Home Depot, but it was never properly installed. It's just like a countertop piece, just resting on cabinets like a table. Have you seen the?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, imagine you have 2 filing cabinets and a fucking table, and that's it. That's what the kitchen is.
What how much do you think it's gonna cost for you to fix this?
I don't know. I mean, everything is functional. One thing I have to do, one room is carpeted, but it's carpet squares, and there's a broken glass all over it, and it smells like cat piss, so I have to get rid of those carpets, but then it's plywood underneath, so either I have to buy flooring or I have to put down my own carpet.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. So how much?
Well, I just saw a guy selling 2 carpets for like $120, so I could just buy that and then put that down, and that's a temporary solution.
All right, okay, yeah.
Really, what I just want is a place where I can fucking work on my shit. And I guess I already had it, and I don't know why I moved. But for whatever reason, it was just I don't know. It felt like a good opportunity.
You're impulsive.
I'm extremely impulsive.
And you saw something, you're like, "Up, deal, do it," and then all of a sudden it was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, nope, I'm trapped."
Well, I want you to see the apartment because I think you might think it's. I think if you see it, you might understand where I'm coming from.
I know the layout of a railroad apartment. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you don't get it. It's also like one room is beautiful. One room is like the living room all the way in the end. It faces southwest. I can see the sunset out of my window over the Manhattan skyline.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
it's nice overlooking a kindergarten.
Yeah. Is that true?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's actually quite annoying
Yeah.
because kids scream and they get up early for some reason. I don't know why we make kids get up early.
Yeah. Meanwhile, those poor kids. There's like a new neighbor in town screaming out the window, like with his music.
Yeah.
They're like, "Pussy hair, I want to touch your pussy hair."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they don't get it.
Yeah. They're like, "What?"
Like, what?
She's like, "My pussy's clean."
Yeah, we shave.
Yeah. Come on, it's 2021.
Right.
You know.
Okay, so I'm trying to think of everything that's fucking. What else to tell you about this apartment? Yeah, so there's all these scams, and I'm like, I want to get out of it.
Yeah, my question is, what did the landlords or the person who sold you apartment
Well, that's
say
what
when you said you lied to me? When those words
I
came
didn't-
out of your mouth.
I didn't say that because I'm not stupid,
Oh.
right? If you know how to talk to people, you say, "Hey, I noticed that there were discrepancies, and I also paid a broker fee for it, so I paid $1,800 broker fee, right?
This does not sound like a deal.
It's a fucking deal. Anyways, I was like, there's all these issues online. I keep finding all these issues. And then she goes, that was some fucking piece of shit tenant who stopped paying rent and was taking advantage of this old lady just so that she could get rent. It's a deadbeat. And I said, okay, there's also complaints from another apartment unit. And she goes, that's another deadbeat.
Of course.
She goes, that's another fucking freeloader.
Yeah.
Hold on. So then I'm moving in. And it's the girl next to me. And there's a girl next to me, and she has beef with the landlord. The landlord is an 80-year-old Polish woman with like so English. She comes out and sets up a chair and watches me, and then the girl starts talking to me while the landlord is there, and she goes, so creepy, this landlord, watching you move in. Wow, so normal. It seems really normal that she would do that. And the landlord is looking at her going, like pointing at her and going, no. And then later the landlord comes up to me and she goes, that woman is troublemaker. Don't talk to her.
Oh, I think you got a giant problem with this landlord.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? You
No.
think the woman is a troublemaker?
I can't tell. We're going to see.
I
A part of me was like, I'm just going to take this to see.
I think you're gonna get a leak of some kind,
If
and
there's,
it's not gonna get
if
fixed.
there's any issue, I can break the lease and probably might be able to get the broker fee back.
Yeah.
So if there's any issue, I just have to move, and I assume I'll be able to get most of the money back.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm trying to make the apartment livable while spending as little money as possible. Like, I'm getting cleaners to come clean it, and then I'm going to get carpet for that room, and then I'm just going to set up my shit and work as long as I can in there. And then if I can't, then I'll just find another place, and that's it.
Yeah. Is it?
But if I can, I think I could rent half of the apartment for $1,000 and make my rent $800 for like a big apartment in a good location.
Yeah. It's you're still gonna be you still itchy in there?
No, I was fine last night.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You're also paranoid. So
Well, I
you're
also I think there is stress. I do have stress-induced itching as well. It's a real thing.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, stress hives. It's like a thing people get.
All right.
So but I'm also highly allergic to everything. So I can never tell if I'm allergic or if I'm just stressed out, or if I'm stressed out because I'm allergic and itchy and uncomfortable. It's unreal.
It's just a spiral that you go down.
Yeah. Also, I've never lived alone in New York. I'm so scared leaving my laptop and shit in there. Like before you've been in an apartment for like a month and
you're in
it's
Greenpoint,
fine.
dude. You'll be fine.
You're
You're in the 4th floor.
Whoa! Let's not fucking reveal where I live. All right. All right. 4th floor is fine. I'm on the 4th floor in a building in Greenpoint.
Yes.
Yeah.
We already said the neighborhood before.
Right. That's fine.
So what do you think people are
I
just
just
going
didn't want
to?
you to say the street.
I don't know the street.
Okay. all
Okay,
right.
and also I
Yeah.
wasn't going to say the street,
Yeah.
but what do you think people are going to go around checking out the 4th floor looking for Santiago?
Well, that's what I noticed. Also, is like, Greenpoint? There's a tent city outside my building. There's 20 guys who sleep on the street. Some of them in tents if they're bougie. Yeah.
Wait, bougie tent guys?
Well, they're better than the guys without a tent.
Are the tents nice?
No.
Then it's not bougie.
They're some people are sleeping naked, like bare on the street with their face out.
Okay.
And some guys have a tent. So they're
Okay.
definitely doing better than the guys who are sleeping without a tent.
You said what, naked?
Just
In rags. Okay, I get what you're saying.
not
yeah.
not in rags, but there's no barrier between them and the world. At
Okay,
least with
yeah.
a tent guy.
There's a yeah. You can
Yeah.
jerk off.
So
yeah.
they're relatively bougie compared to the other
Okay,
guys, right?
yeah.
Yeah, there's that. I moved in, fucking freezer doesn't work.
You walk by one of the tent guys. He's like, I used to live in that apartment.
yeah. He's like, get out.
Yeah, get out, man. Made me fucking itchy. The street's better.
Yeah.
The street's better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at all the space here.
Yeah. Anyways, no, so I mean at this point I'm just operating like it's going to be fine until I run into an issue, and also just trying not to spend a ton of money on it.
I think at the end of the day, with the money you spent on this, maybe you're lucky in breaking even.
Well, I think I did the math. If I can rent the other room, I would break even on all the expenses in 1 year, and then after that I would save $4,000 a year from my previous rent, which also went up $150 a month. So what's that times 12, 15, $1,800 a year. So that
Yeah.
would be $5,800 a year that I would be saving if I can rent the other room.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jesus. Well, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's what I got.
Are you happy?
I'm waiting on cleaners because I want to get it like professionally cleaned. I'm waiting on cleaners once to unpack, so I'm sleeping on a couch that she left in there. And once I get the cleaners in, once I get her couches out, and once I get my bed set up and my music studio set up, I think I'll be happy.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
But your girl would never live there.
Yeah, but it's also that's the other thing is fucking it says no dogs on the lease, and then I hear a dog barking.
No dogs is on every lease.
Then I hear a dog barking, and it's fucking the girl who is not paying rent,
Oh.
who's suing the landlord.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So also people not paying rent in there for.
There's another woman next door not paying rent, but apparently it's only one of the tenants. So the other tenant is apparently happy and paying rent.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's why that's what the DOB guy said. He was like, listen, there's 8 units. Only one of them is having an issue.
Okay.
So maybe it's that unit, or maybe,
All right.
it's a troubled person.
Oh God, I hate real estate in New York.
It's but here's the thing is because I moved in, I got lucky. The first apartment I moved into was very nice, as in like everything finished and hardwood floors. I haven't lived in an apartment before that's like linoleum floors that are broken and you can see the plywood underneath, and the kitchen is just like someone threw some shit in there, and it's I've never lived in like a shithole like that. My apartment in Berlin was pretty much a shithole like that, where it
That place wasn't bad.
it wasn't bad, but I also realized retrospectively that it was rent stabilized, because the rent could only go up like a certain percentage per year. It went up 15 euros a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And someone just explained it to me when I signed the contract, but I didn't realize that it had gotten a stabilized apartment. That's
Yeah.
why it could only go up. No, but the apartment in Berlin was like vinyl floor that curled up that hadn't even been like stapled or cut to the room. It was just a shitty stove, and then I made a countertop myself. Everything very shitty.
God, landlords are such. Ugh, I hate them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I don't mind. Like it's funny because at the end of the day, I just want to do something that is good for me artistically. Like I think what drew me to the space is like I'll have more space, which means I can set up music equipment and maybe just have like a little bit, and also live here alone.
How many rooms do you have besides your bedroom?
Well, that's the thing. It's like I've got a living room, a bedroom, that carpeted room, which is kind of gross. Then there's the kitchen. There's the room partition in the kitchen, and then the bathroom.
Okay. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
It's very big.
Yeah.
It's very big. I may just live there alone for a while and just eat the rent and just to see what it feels like to live alone in New York for a little bit. Honestly, part of it is like, it's like, wow, this would be a perfect place to live if I was single. Where it's like you live alone, it's big, you're in a like area with that has bars.
Yeah,
and
you can like
nightlife
take
and
out.
shit.
Yeah.
Once you have a girlfriend, you're like, why am I spending this fucking money?
Do you think that way?
No, I mean that's not really, but it is
Yeah.
a thought that has occurred to me.
Yeah. I don't think I don't move into a place that's like this is a bachelor pad. I'm like, oh, I'll be able to have sex with somebody here.
No, it's not even just like, will somebody come in here and fuck me, as much as it is like, is this close to shit? Is this close to shit that's happening? And then where things are happening, that's where you get laid.
Yeah, I guess, but not really with online stuff. I mean, all you got to do is like go back to someone's apartment. I mean, it's just it's the transit ride back home that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that also sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking riding in the subway with a girl that you want to fuck. That's nothing sadder when you're just waiting for the train.
Oh yeah. And you're like another 15 minutes, and you're
Yeah.
like, it's just the margin of time where you can blow it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's like I would always just get Ubers, but Ubers were very cheap for a couple of years.
That's true.
They were subsidized. It was like $10, $15, and now they're like back to being $30. And just an absolute fucking nightmare.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. But again, if you're getting laid, then you spend money on getting there quickly to not.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Also, it's like a little fancy thing. It's like, hey, with me, you're getting this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You just pray nobody else gets in the Uber pool.
Yeah.
Please, God.
Oh man, she goes home with him. She's like, I'm gonna change addresses. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's nice, man. Congratulations on the place.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna see. I mean, it's still a big question mark, but it was basically
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and I paid $600 for movers, which is another fucking scam. Like you can't.
Why don't you do what I did? I told you to do what I did.
I thought about it, and I was just like, man, it's already so stressful, Pat, because all of this happened in under a week.
Yeah.
I fucking signed on Friday, and I moved out the next Friday.
What I told you to do was what I did, which is I did all the packing myself. I got a U-Haul, and then I hired one task grabber mover to help me move, and it sucked.
Yeah.
It sucked. It took 3 hours. It was extremely painful.
Yeah.
And the shit was heavy, and my back was killing me.
Yeah.
But I saved probably $500, $600 doing that.
No, not that much.
Well, I spent maybe a little bit over. I spent like $250 total moving.
I think you would have probably. The thing is, you also are supposed to tip them. I tipped them $50 each.
Oh, that's including the tip.
Yeah.
Which was, I think, 75 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had 3 guys. I tipped them $50 each, which is what a friend of mine who's a mover told me to do.
What do you think is going to give you a low number?
Well, then I looked online, and they're like, you only need to tip 20%. So I tipped like 33%. It's fine. I don't really care. But this was great because like if I get it myself. These guys had a moving truck, straps. I didn't have to fucking lift a single thing. It's like
are they covered for insurance? Like if something breaks, do they cover it?
No, that's the other thing. I got Lemonade, which is fucking. I mean, they should sponsor us, but it's a renter's insurance, and it covers you up. I got covered up to $30,000 in case, and it covers moving as well. I think.
How much was it for the?
It's like $12 a month, $13 a month.
Oh,
But I
nice.
also covered all my music equipment, my bike. Up to $10,000 of music equipment.
Oh,
but you have to show receipts, which I haven't done yet.
This is all brought to you by Lemonade.
I need to register for that.
Beyonce's Lemonade. It's Beyonce's Lemonade, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing is that I got that for the
That's
apartment.
what that video was about. Her smashing the car, and it's like she's like, you get reimbursed for this.
Right.
Jay-Z's getting reimbursed for this. Lemonade.
Exactly. Every album is just an ad. Purple Rain is a fucking like life insurance company. Yeah.
Man. Purple Rain life insurance. I like it.
Yeah, Purple Rain. It's like diabetes treatment or some shit like that.
It sounds.
You've been drinking too much Kool-Aid. It comes out in your piss.
Yeah.
Right.
You got the Purple Rain.
Yeah.
Get Purple Rain insurance.
Exactly. So what else? So I got these fucking renters. It's like your back is really against the wall because it was like, sure, I could go to Home Depot and pick up 2 guys, but it's like I don't want to drive that truck. I don't want to drive that truck on moving day.
Yeah.
Did you drive that on moving day?
What do you mean? What's moving day?
The first of the month.
Oh, no, it was 4 or 5 days before.
Way more stressful.
Yeah.
Even on my street there were 3 moving trucks.
Yeah.
So it's like it's gonna be hard to park.
Yeah.
I'm bad at driving it. I have nobody here to help me. Then on top of that, the 2 guys I'm gonna get, they don't have all the equipment. These guys have carts, moving blankets, big boxes where they can put stuff that doesn't fit in the little boxes.
My guy just showed up at like off the subway.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, you're just a body that can lift heavy things. Let's do it.
Yeah, this was not that. It's also I have a bunch of music equipment, and I was like, if one synthesizer gets broken, it's
Yeah.
I didn't save $500.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll just fucking pay for it, and I'm just gonna pay a bunch of costs and eat it, and then I'll just see how much money I have left after this.
Those
and
are the two.
recalibrate.
This one of the non-scammy scams. The other one is locksmith.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you get locked out of your house at night.
Yeah.
Like that. What happened to me?
Oh,
a
it's
locksmith
$300,
will come.
right?
No, he said it was 500.
Wow.
He's like, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill this
Yeah.
hole out right now.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna install another lock and
Yeah.
then give you the key for
Yeah.
that lock.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is gonna be $500.
Yeah. It's for like
And
10 minutes of work.
Yeah, for like 10 minutes of work. I was like, dude, no.
Yeah.
And he's like, who else? is gonna come here. It was late at night. It was straight up with me. It was like,
Yeah.
this is how it is, man.
You didn't have
You don't have
roommates? You didn't have
anything.
anybody
No,
else?
a room that my fucking stupid idiot roommate. Like, this was when I first moved to New York. He was in the house and he locked a lock that I didn't have a key for.
Yeah.
You know, like it was a non-functional lock that you couldn't unlock from the outside, but you could lock from the inside.
And
he just went in, locked it, and then went upstairs.
so he was in there.
He was in here, and I spent an hour just knocking.
Yeah. And then what?
knocking.
He didn't hear you?
He didn't hear me. He had fucking headphones on. He's a fucking idiot on drugs, and he was
Wow.
just playing video games with headphones on.
You could see him through the
while
window?
I'm knocking. I couldn't see him through a window, and I couldn't see the light on, but I knew he was in there because you
Yeah.
can't lock it from the
Yeah.
outside.
So all you had
Someone
to do
has to
was
be in there.
wait. All you had to do was
I
wait for somebody to come
Calling him-
out.
Yeah, but it could have been all night, you know? And I just moved in. So I called the locksmith. I go there, and the guy comes and he like says 500. I was like, fuck, and I'm start
Yeah.
knocking again, you know? And I go, how much just to drill it?
Yeah.
Because it's a non-functional lock.
Yeah.
So it's not like it needs to be repaired or the
Yeah.
whole thing is unlocked. He goes, it's 300 to drill
Yeah.
it. You
Did
know?
he do that?
And he drills it. He's opening it. As he drills it, my roommate hears the drilling because it's crazy loud.
Yeah.
He comes downstairs and opens the door, and the guy was like, I was still drilling. It's 300.
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
funny.
And tell me if this is a dick move. I made my roommate pay for it.
That's fine.
You
That's
think it's a
kosher.
dick move or not a dick move?
Not a dick move. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, your landlord should pay for it because there shouldn't be a lock you don't have the fucking key for.
Yeah. He was furious when I told him that he owed me. I was like, you giving me the 300, and then
Yeah.
I'll try and get the 300 from the landlord, and I'll give that to
Who was
you.
furious? Your landlord or
And
your
I
roommate?
told the landlord, and the landlord was like, you call me when that happens.
Yeah.
I'm not paying this. I have a guy for that.
Yeah, you should have called him for sure.
What?
You should have called your landlord.
I
for
did.
Sure.
It was late at night. I didn't pick up.
Well, then you just tell him that. I did call you.
And he's like, but we have a service for that.
Yeah, but
He's
it's like, yeah,
no.
but it doesn't matter if you don't fucking
Dude,
answer.
But this guy was a dick.
Yeah,
you
a
know?
lot of
Yeah,
landlords.
and he goes,
landlords are pieces of shit.
I mean, like he
You know?
starts. I mean, what kills me about it is that I'm like, hey man, like you have this non-functional lock. It kind of screwed me. You know, I had to call a landlord.
Yeah.
I tried calling and everything, and he immediately goes to like, that won't hold up in court.
Right.
You're not gonna take me to, like he's almost like. The first thing he does is
He's in like let's go to court mode.
instantly.
instantly.
He's like, oh, I have the money to go to court. Do you have the money to go to court? Well, then I guess not. We're not talking about this.
Mhm.
And he just does that as a bully tactic for every problem that he has.
Well, you realize that's how the American court system works in general.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
What are you going to sue?
There's a famous
sue Jeff Bezos? You can't.
You know, the story of course you don't know the story of.
Yeah.
I'm about to tell a story you've never heard before.
Yeah.
How did I tell that? For 2001: Space Odyssey, the music to it is very famous music to
Yeah.
2001.
What
It's
is
done.
it?
It's done by a famous composer named György Ligeti.
Yeah.
And it's a Hungarian composer, famous avant-garde new music composer.
Oh, is that the doom 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 doom?
No. That's
That's the opening.
Yeah, that's the opening. That's Thus Spoke Zarathustra.
Right,
yeah, It's a
right.
different thing. But
Who is that?
in the beginning, Strauss. In the beginning,
Strauss,
yeah. Please let's not get into. But in the end, where there's this kind of like weird orchestral, like
floating through
airy,
space
floating through
shit.
space,
Yeah.
weird music. That was György Ligeti's a requiem he wrote.
Yeah.
You know, it was like an avant-garde new music you know,
Yeah.
piece. And Stanley Kubrick goes, "That's great. I'm just going to use that." And just straight up put it in
Yeah.
the movie. Became this huge, famous movie.
Yeah.
And Ligeti was like, "I think you owe me some money
Yeah.
for that." And he goes, "Oh no, I'm attached to this whole Hollywood system. I'll see you in court." "Oh, you don't have the money for court? I guess I just completely stole
Yeah.
your music.
No,
and
those
don't
guys,
give you any
those guys-
copyright."
for stuff like that, you can't get money back.
What?
Easy.
He didn't. Well, at the time, which was in the '60s.
I'm sure he could get money back. Look into it. I'm sure that guy got money. Once it's like incontrovertible that they took your thing, you get paid out. And that's what happens all the time when we're like big music producers. Like, what's his fucking name? I mean, maybe it only worked. I'm thinking about like Blurred Lines. That guy got sued by Marvin Gaye, I think, for stealing a riff on that song.
Yeah.
Maybe it's only because Marvin Gaye had Motown backing or whatever else he had. But it happens all the time where people they have to pay royalties because it turns out that it was an idea that was stolen.
Meanwhile, it's so funny, but like the way if you determine if something was stolen in music is so not
The melody.
Yeah, or it's like the melody or like a chord progression.
Well,
But if you actually know music, which none of these judges who rule on
Yeah.
this do, you kind of realize that there's only so many
Chord
progressions
and
that
melodies.
happens in
Yeah.
pop music,
Yeah.
and there's eventually going to be an overlap that's a
Right.
coincidence.
Right.
So
it's
you
also
see some
especially-
things. You see some things where it's like, Your Honor, this guy, used this cadence. I was like, you mean the cadence that's used in every single pop song?
Right. Or also like fucking the Queen. Doom 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 doo doo doom doom.
Yeah.
Doom doo doo doom doo doo doom doom
Yeah.
doom.
Yeah.
It's like 3 notes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the rhythm doo doo going down to the 5th.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Part of me was like, man, I should have been the guy that copyrighted like da 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 da. Like,
Well,
like,
there are copyright scams where they have like AI bots that like they just they copyright all iterations of things.
Yeah.
So that then they can sue you for copyright,
Mhm.
and it's just a way of like of getting money out of people.
Yeah. There's also inventor scams too.
That's what I meant. Yeah, patent scams. That's
Yeah.
what it's not copyright. Patent scams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they'll like and some guy like claimed that he invented the online like radio show or
Right.
something like that. It was
Right.
like, it was an online radio show. That's a podcast. All
Yeah.
podcasts owe me money.
Right.
I was like, dude, you're just it's just fucking rotten hell.
It's also
dude.
the idea that like patents as they exist are in some way outdated and don't really fit the internet or the modern era very well. Fuck, what was I going to talk about? I got one.
I find those guys so annoying.
Of course
like,
you
patent
do.
trolls that I've
Patent
like
trolls, that's what they're called. Yeah.
And like wouldn't it be great if one day I was like, listen, I know you're just kind of annoying everybody to
Yeah.
make money, but you're like tasting them so many times, but you know what? Fuck it. Let's behead this guy
Yeah.
because the culture needs to see this, right?
Right.
Like, I know I'm being like a fucked up dictator right
Yeah.
now, but you're so annoying. I just
Right.
like everyone should get your head cut off.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because they deserve it. Because justice doesn't necessarily
yeah.
align with the
The
legal
amount of
system.
yeah,
Yeah.
or the amount of annoyed I am
Sure.
when I try and get my patents passed.
Right. Yeah.
of all my inventions.
Yeah. Shitting your pants.
Yeah, that was me.
that
I was the
was
first
you.
person to do that.
You see
And
a guy on
there are a
the
bunch
subway.
of babies out there that owe me money.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Pissing and shitting yourself.
You send them an invoice.
I was the first person to suck on my mom's tits.
Right.
Yeah.
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 What was I gonna say? That happened to Kanye West sampled Aphex Twin, and Aphex Twin was like, "Hey, that's my song," and Kanye was like, "No, it's not. There's nothing you can do about it. We have lawyers." He's like, "Do you want me to send you a higher resolution version? You've lost a lot of quality. It's been it's been degraded."
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
like trolling him. I don't know if he ever got paid in the end, but my feeling is that those guys do get paid because with something like a recording, it's very clear. Like the same way that like Shazam is able to look at like music fingerprints, that does exist for recordings, and then you can identify. Like, I mean, they do it on YouTube automatically now. They record for like they scan fingerprint scan all audio for like major label recordings, and then you get immediate DMCA takedowns.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've definitely had that.
So you can go to court for that and win.
Yeah, I guess now with the fingerprinting, but before, like it was just like during the Beatles days, it was sure it was like a judge being like, bum 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 bum.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Beatles.
I
You owe him money.
I was talking to Tiago about this, and he was like, one of the old Gangstar on one of
Rest
the
in peace.
Yeah, Tiago.
Yeah.
What?
I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I don't know.
you think I'm just gonna bring it up like that out of nowhere?
I don't know. Maybe yeah.
You don't think it would have been a conversation before us?
Maybe yeah.
Yeah.
I saw him last week. I was like, God, I just saw him last week.
Yeah. You think I would know before you?
Yeah. No. Definitely not.
Yeah.
I'm his emergency contact.
Yeah. Are you really?
No, his
Okay.
wife is.
Okay. I think maybe that you don't need an emergency contact that's your wife because chances are something happened together. You need a different emergency contact.
Right. A non-familial emergency contact. Anyways, he said like it was like on a Gangstar record or something. DJ Premier was like, and if you know where my samples are, keep your fucking mouth shut. Because they didn't want to get sued. Because they would just take their parents' records and sample them in early hip hop.
Oh yeah.
But because they didn't have the fingerprinting technology, it wasn't clear what it was. So it would be other record heads who would recognize it, and they were like, "Hey, just shut the fuck up about it. I'm trying not to get busted here."
Do you think also like the judgment would happen like let's say it was good? Do you think the judge would be like, "It's pretty good. I'm gonna give him a pass."
Yeah, no.
Kind of sounds different.
No, I don't think so.
And then it was like if it's a really bad song, you're like, ugh, you think this is good? Give him money.
Yeah.
You owe money. Yeah.
Even if it's not, they're like they're like they rule against your favor because the song is so bad.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like, listen, I mean, it didn't really use the sample, but I feel like you should pay money because for making me listen to
this song
shit.
they're listening to, "Kill All Judges."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna rule against that. Yeah.
Yeah, that is. I wonder if NWA got any shit for "fuck the police," like when they get arrested, if it put a target on their back. You know?
Or a guy sued him for copyright infringement. I was the first person to say "fuck the police."
Right.
Yeah.
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 It's a white woman.
Yeah.
She's like, I've been saying "fuck the police" for years.
It's like it's a Beatles song. Yeah, yeah. We've been
Right.
saying "fuck the police" all this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, if you listen to Blue Jay way backwards, it
Yeah.
says "fuck the police."
Uh,
Do you know that? Do you know that? I think that I don't know. Remember the name of the song? I think it was Blue Jay Way, but it's like if you play it backwards, it says Paul is dead, and then there's the conspiracy that Paul is dead, and that's why he's not wearing shoes on the Abbey Road cover, because he's actually dead. Or
Yeah.
no, that's why he's wearing. I don't know what he wore. John Lennon wore white. I don't know.
yeah. Meanwhile, he's alive because I met him.
Oh, really?
Yep.
How'd you meet him?
He was
He was
at
fucking your mom. That's
yeah.
crazy. Oh, he's
Yeah.
at the Dan's mom fucking party.
Mom, dinner. When's dinner? Paul McCartney.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Danny, I'm gonna need a second. But Mom.
Yeah.
No, it was at a my graduate school graduation. He was like the honorary like dude who was
He was a
there.
speaker?
Yeah.
Or he got an honorary degree.
He got an honorary degree.
How annoying is that if just like every year you get honorary degrees from places you don't give a shit about because people want to be associated with you? So
Oh
like,
yeah, for
hey,
sure.
we've got an honorary degree for you.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Bill Cosby has like 1 million honorary degrees.
His honorary degree got revoked.
Yeah.
I think.
Meanwhile, after he went to jail, he got one from Florida State University. Actually,
Is that true?
No, kidding me.
Oh, that'd be
Like we like
funny.
what you're in line with our ethics here,
Oh,
buddy.
right, like ASU.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
That's crazy how those are the two schools that are like that's where you go to drink and fuck.
Yeah. It's I guess it's crazy that, but like,
Why would you send your kids there? I'd be like, you're not going there. I know what happens there.
because if you live in state, it's like $5,000 a year or something
Yeah,
like
okay,
that.
That's true.
So a lot of it is like, those are also schools. You can also go there and study. Like, it's the same way that like people come to New York to drink themselves into a hole and do rails of coke until their hearts explode. It's like, yeah, like 10% of the city. You know?
Is that true?
I mean, New York is where you come to drink yourself into a grave. Everybody knows that.
It's alcohol so expensive here. I don't feel like that's what people say about it.
Yeah. I mean, you're old and you don't drink, but like a lot of people just blow all their paychecks just being fucking drunk and in bars all the time.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Also a lot of comics. I mean, maybe not
I just
May-
assume that comics have problems.
drug problems
Yeah.
or money
Yeah.
problems.
No, both. I mean,
Yeah.
essentially, like I wouldn't look at a comic and be like, you are a representation of the people in New York City here.
Right.
I'd be like, you're a person with a problem who might be funny,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but in the meantime, you're just hanging around other people who are trying to be funny, and it's kind of like you're doing it as an excuse,
Oh,
or it's because
like
you
a
love
lot-
the lifestyle of doing coke and drinking.
Right. A lot of people just want to do coke and drink and they tell themselves they're doing comedy.
Yeah.
But really it's like you're hanging out with other drunks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, then I think about it, that's like 40% of comedians.
Yeah, that's way more. I mean, yeah. A
Yeah.
lot of people, it's like they have to go do their fucking shitty 10 minutes so that they can keep hanging out in the club
Yeah.
of people who fucking drink and they have nothing to look forward to.
Yeah. Except for when their set's over.
Yeah.
Huh.
Right. All right. What do we got? I got a thing I can read. Unless you have anything else you want to talk about.
You want to
first.
read a couple things? I like how one of my topics was your move. I was like, how was your move?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Your topics are Santiago's life.
Yeah.
Okay, a Danish museum lent an artist $84,000 to reproduce an old work about labor. Instead, he kept the money and called it conceptual art. So
Yep.
the art was that he took their money, and he said he sent them blank canvases, and he said, "You can hang this up. It's called Take the Money and Run." And yeah, that's what he did. Okay, so
I have a after you're done with this, I know a very similar thing that happened
So-
in the new music world.
yeah, his name is Jans Hanning, and I guess he's Danish. Yeah. So for its current exhibition, the museum gave him $84,000 per their written agreement. the artist would exhibit the banknotes themselves, effectively recreating a pair of artworks he made in 2007 and 2010 that represented the average incomes of an Austrian and a Dane. So he made a previous artwork where it was just money, and you could see the money that the average person made in a year, and that was what the artwork was.
Yeah.
So you got the
I
money.
see. By the way, I see a lot of those. I also like
the food somebody eats in a year. In
yeah,
given country.
and each grain of rice is one person or like 10 people or something like that, and then you kind of like look at the consumption in that way, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, look at all the consumption that happens in China, and you see like this huge pile of rice, you know.
Yeah.
And then you look
and
at
then
the
you see
consumption.
what we eat in America, and it's just absolute dog shit.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And then you see like poor countries where they actually eat vegetables and
Yeah.
beans and stuff like that. Anyways, so when they got the box containing the pieces, they found 2 empty frames, and the banknotes were absent. And then the artist said, "The work is that I have taken their money. It is not theft, it is a breach of contract, and a breach of contract is part of the work." Hold on. The artist explained that he conceived of Take the Money and Run in response to the paltry remuneration offered by the museum for inclusion in the show. According to him, he would have had to pay $3,900 to realize the 2 older artworks, and to do so misses the point of the originals, which presents a quantitative snapshot of a moment in time. Why should we show work that is about Denmark 11 years ago, or one that is about Austria's relationship with a bank 14 years ago? But he goes, for him, it's provocation as much as anything else. I encourage other people who have just as miserable working conditions as me to do the same. If they're sitting on some shit job and not getting money, they're actually being asked to give money to go to work, then take the box and run off. So he's basically saying it's about labor and being exploited. But really, seems like a fairly well-paid artist.
I gotta say this though.
Yeah.
I kind of like it.
Of course. It's listen, anytime a little guy takes a bigger institution's money,
and they're like, cool. Hey, yeah, it's super cool, and I'm glad he did it, and I hope he gets away with it.
Yeah.
And I hope the museum, as one of their exhibits, is, and now here's the part of the exhibit where we look like an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, then that's like, we paid a guy to call us a douche, and we have to support this, and this is what we paid for.
Right.
Yeah.
So the exhibition wants their money back at the end of January.
Yeah.
Or the museum wants it as soon as the exhibition's over, but the artist has no plans to return it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, the museum's going to look awful if they start suing this guy for the money. They might do it anyway. But good for this guy.
And the museum says, they asked if they would file charges, and they said, right now we wait and see. If the money is not returned on 16th of January as agreed, we will of course take the necessary steps to ensure that Jens Hanning complies with his contract.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to sue him. So I guess we'll see in January what happens with this guy.
There's this composer who I know.
Are we done talking about that art?
No. This is extremely
relevant.
This is extremely relevant.
All right.
Yeah. His name is Johannes Kreidler.
Okay.
And he's around my age. He got commissioned to write a piece by an orchestra in Germany, and he called the piece outsourced.
Yeah.
And he just outsourced it to
whoever
composers in India.
Yeah.
Who are normally used to working on commercial work, But he outsourced the whole thing to composers in India to write an avant-garde new music work.
How was it?
And it was passable.
Except for at the end they were like, drink Coke.
No,
it's like detuned violins.
Yeah.
And they're like, Pepsi.
Yeah. No. What was interesting about it is that it's like it was of the same like when you get a translation done.
Yeah.
In or captions done in India, or it's
like 80% of the way there.
Yeah, it's like almost there.
Yeah.
But like you'd have to do these little corrections, and he just like part of the beauty of the piece, like I heard it, was that those corrections weren't there.
Yeah.
So you're like, this is close enough to an avant-garde piece, but I can see how there's a little bit of a guy that doesn't know exactly what he's dealing with.
The spelling mistakes are what makes it unique.
Yeah.
That a real avant-garde new music piece wouldn't have those errors.
I saw him give a talk on it.
Yeah.
And of course, it's so weird because it's
the
like
talk is how he doesn't show up.
Well, it's like, but the talk was like, this says a lot about like exploiting labor and everything like that. And he goes, I paid them what their rate was, and then I kept the rest of the money. How fucked up is that?
Yeah.
So so he was giving a talk on this, and all the young people in the audience who are like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, I'm so shocked! I just watched two girls shit in a cup," and
Yeah.
it's like this is not
This
like
is nothing.
yeah, like he's trying to offend some people, you know.
Right.
But it's like his generation doesn't get offended by that at all. You know, they see the gimmick in it. But then, like,
Our generation doesn't get
but then
offended
it's
by it.
classical music, so it's like there's a bunch of old people standing up yelling at him, like, "This is not art.
Yeah.
Du bist kein Künstler." You know, it's like so funny, like standing up and they're making a big deal. It's like, oh no, I'm controversial now. It's like, yeah, to someone who's gonna be dead in 10 months.
Right.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't fucking matter, man.
You really pissed off a grandma.
Yeah, you really pissed off that Nazi. Like legit, they were there. You know.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, man. He, I think it was called Outsourced. The piece. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
literally 6 people would be able to tell the difference between that and between what you do.
He had
Like,
some pretty,
would.
he had some pretty good conceptual stuff that I liked. He, for the financial crash, he like took it and auto-tuned it.
Yeah.
Like he took the chart of the thing going down.
Yeah.
And like it going up and then going like way down of financial crash, and then he just auto-tuned it to like a C major scale.
Yeah.
So it's like and I don't know, it was funny. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. So yeah, check him out.
Yeah, cool.
Johannes Kreidler.
Yeah, nice.
What was the other scam you had?
It's related to me a little bit, or to the fact I found this girl on Twitter who talked about an apartment scam. So I guess
at the end of the day, do you feel
apartments.
At the end of the day, do you feel like you got scammed?
It stands to be seen. I think if I end up living there and it's fine, and I'm able to stay there for as long as I want to.
It stands to be seen. Is that something that people say? Remains to be seen.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can look it up afterwards.
Okay.
I would say it stands to be seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's remains to be seen.
I think that maybe there are multiple expressions.
No, I think there's only one
English
expression.
language.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I have more beans? Well, it remains to be seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just give him the beans. He was like, that wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't remain anymore. So no, if I can live there and it works out and I can live there as long as I want, then it wasn't a scam.
Yeah.
It was a good deal. If I have to leave in soon or under a year, and if I have to break the lease and I have to sue my landlord, or struggle with the realty company to get any money back or whatever, then it was a scam.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, and part of me is like a little amused by the big question mark going on.
Well, you just moved fast, and then you were like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah.
You just made 2 large commitments very fast.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, and now it's like you couldn't even go back.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure your roommates are like, "Fuck this guy."
No, I think they're fine. I think one of the roommates moving in was already being very annoying. Yeah. Oh, because that's the other thing. I was like, if this falls through, could I move back in? And they were like, the rooms are taken.
Yeah, of course. They were like, they don't want you back. Yeah.
I don't think so. They were like, you would have to screw out this person out of a room. I was like, I'm okay with doing that. I would just maybe give them a month's rent. And they were like, all right, I guess just let us know. Because it was when I was thinking like maybe I won't move at all.
Oh, okay.
But then I kind of like talked it through. I think a big part of it is like not to get. I mean, this entire episode has been not exactly comedic. It's been
do whatever. It's fine.
Yeah. But like, I think for me, like if you want to talk psychologically, it's probably like a fear of commitment, and then a real fear of like losing money and then becoming completely destitute, which is like a fear that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though I'm like more comfortable than I've ever been in my entire life.
Oh, ooh,
yeah.
Fancy schmancy.
Yeah.
Collecting unemployment.
Not anymore. It fucking ended.
Yeah.
I'm to the point where I'm thinking of getting a job.
Whoa, really?
A little bit, yeah. And then that was like,
you're gonna be miserable again.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. We'll see. That's what my therapist said. She was like, "You gonna get a job? You wanted to kill yourself every day you had a job." And I was like, "Yeah."
That's fun. That's cool. How your therapist is like, "Don't get a job."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she's like, "Why don't you just fucking play music in bars?" And I was like, "Yeah, thanks."
Oh, nice. How old is she?
68.
That's pretty cool for a 60-year-old broad.
Oh, she's very progressive. She also thinks Me Too is bullshit.
Oh, really?
Which is not helpful in a therapist. Where I'm like, the climate is, and she's like, these broads got to shut up.
Your Honor.
She's like, Your Honor, they went to the hotel room at 2 a.m. What do they expect?
Your Honor, my therapist said that these broads got to shut their fucking mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. And she's 68.
Yeah, she's like, take a little responsibility. And I'm just like, all right, I don't know.
When
if
I
would
used to
go
get
that
finger
far.
blasted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She's like, why were you wearing crotchless panties?
Yeah.
Right, which is victim blaming. Anyways, the scam that I found. So I was supposed to move into a new apartment, lease already signed and everything. I wasn't going to move till a few days later, but my mattress was being delivered early. I noticed that 3 out of 4 of my keys work, but not one. Then it gets weird. I call the landlord. I wait for her to come. That one key doesn't work either. She says, this one looks new. Someone must have changed the locks. It wasn't her. So it wasn't the landlord, not anyone who works for the building. You could see curtains in the bedroom that I didn't put up. She calls a locksmith to come change them, but that doesn't explain how it got changed in the first place. Then a guy comes home and says this is his apartment. He has a key and it works. He genuinely has no idea what's going on. We ask where he got the key from. He says a realtor. It's not the realtor I used, and apparently not a realtor at all. He's been renting this place to this guy since pretty much the day after I saw the property. I turned on our electricity like a week ago, so guess who's been paying for this? The guy with the key is mortified. I feel so bad for this dude, but he was so helpful with it. He lets us in the apartment. He's already set up in this apartment. One of the walls is being painted a different color. Not what the landlord asked either. I'm freaking the fuck out. We don't know how the locks got changed. We have the name of the fake realtor, but that's it. The landlord calls the cops. They show up and say they can't do anything. That it's the landlord's responsibility.
But cops are useless, man.
Of course. I'm out on the steps of this place crying with my mattress, wondering what the fuck to do. Landlord says if I want to void the lease, I can. Debating it when a guy across the street who had earlier helped me get up my mattress up the steps waves me over. He says it's more than it looks. You're going to need a metal door. Shows that there's a fucking wood panel in the door that you can pop out and open. You can pop out the wood and just open the door, which is how this realtor has been getting in. And the guy says, do not live here. The lease is voided. I'm lucky the landlord was so understanding. I really hope the guy who's living there now ends up okay.
But the landlord is the guy that owns the building.
Yeah.
So how does he not know what's going on or fixing it or,
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
How does he not know what's going on or who he signed a lease with?
Yeah. The landlord has a property and they have a realtor showing the property.
Yes.
A guy off the street goes up to this property and he goes, you can just open the door.
Yeah.
He puts up an ad.
Yeah.
Moves a guy in there and keeps the rent for himself.
Okay.
And then the guy is living there thinking he's paying rent. Meanwhile, he just paid rent to a random guy. And the landlord is like, who the fuck are you? And the girl who's supposed to live there is like, who the fuck are you?
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like the landlord's responsibility.
Yeah, for having a shitty door.
Yeah,
for sure.
For having a shitty door.
So this girl's freaked out. She doesn't move, but now the landlord's got to fucking figure out what's going on with this guy.
Yeah.
Which also, she might as well just rent to that guy. Be like, you want to just stay here, pay me the rent,
thing.
and then I'll
like,
replace the door.
Don't pay him, pay me. I'll replace the door.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like then that guy's,
Mm-hmm.
What's funny is that guy can probably easily get busted now. The guy who's renting the place, because he's like,
sure. Well, they have his number, but it might be a burner.
Yeah, but he's transferring it to some bank account.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know what bank account. There are ways to get accounts. You get maybe like an overseas account or something.
This is you, isn't it? You did this.
Yeah. Yeah, this is why I haven't worked in months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, it's amazing that people can just pretend to like, all you need to do is find a place that you can get into and you can convince someone that you owe it.
You can just sell it.
And sell it. Yeah. That's what the Eiffel Tower, the guy who sold the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
You know what he did? He just got a bunch of people and he walked by and he goes, we're tearing this down in like a year. We need to sell the metal.
Yeah.
You want the metal?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, we want the metal. I was like, all right, give me the check. We'll give you the metal. And then they just stayed there, and he just got away with it.
Well, yeah, they got away with it because people were too embarrassed to admit that they'd been scammed.
Yeah.
And they didn't do their the proper legwork, and he did it twice.
That's the thing. If you're going to scam somebody, it's got to be so embarrassing for the other person that they won't tell any. That's the great thing about like catfishing.
Did you see?
Like, I was trying to get you're an officer. I was trying to get some pussy and I couldn't, and I gave this dude, $2,000, and the guy's like, fucking idiot.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the pictures of the girl are hot.
Yeah, he's like, can I see the pictures?
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah,
he's
on,
like,
bro.
Yeah, look at you, look at this. You couldn't tell it was a scam. You know, like nobody wants to do that.
Exactly. Shit. What else? What else was I thinking
When I was
about?
still on the apps, that was that a couple things like, oh, she's so hot,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it would be like, bad news, my father died,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm trying to pay for the funeral, and I was like, oh god damn it, it's a Filipino boy.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right, right,
Yeah.
right. I remember earlier I told you I got ripped off by like a dominatrix.
Yeah, and I was like,
And then
yeah.
you were like, "Do you think she's just at home wearing leather, just ripping people off?" And I was like, "It's a guy in the Philippines. It's
Yeah.
not a fucking woman.
Yeah,
It's not a hot girl.
yeah,
Hot girls can have more efficient ways of making money.
yeah.
They can just be
Analog.
hot.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh, that was the scam in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. They were like, "We need money. How do we get money?" And they were like, "All right, we're gonna make a sex toy called like the ass tickler that makes you come harder than you've ever come before. We take out a magazine ad, we put money back guarantee, we send them a useless dildo, and then when they ask for the money back, we send them a check from giant gaping asshole ass tickler that they don't want to deposit into their bank account."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then the guy goes like, "How long is that going to take?" He's like, "A couple of weeks." And they're like, "Yeah, we need money tomorrow."
Yeah.
It's fucking not going to work.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Meanwhile,
for long
useless
term.
dildo.
Yeah.
No dildo is useless.
You can buy like bulk dildos on Amazon or on Alibaba probably for like $2 a pop or something.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Just like
they're
made out of stuff that there's body safe material and then there's non-body safe material.
Yeah.
That it like leaks toxins into your body
Oh,
that you shouldn't put inside your body. You can probably get something cheap like that made for dirt cheap. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
What? It's like mercury dildo.
Not mercury, but I
Lead.
think it's like
Like
plastic.
a nice heavy dildo. Yeah.
It's like plastic. That it's like BPA's and shit like that.
I'm gonna start a asbestos dildo
Yeah.
company. Yeah.
It keeps your ass. Be like, listen, don't breathe it in, don't shake it around, but it does
Yeah.
keep your asshole warm.
Yeah.
It keeps you nice and insulated in the winter.
If you ever want the guy who eats you out to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I wonder if that was the thing that ever happened.
No, but I did see a picture.
Somebody put poison in their vagina.
Yeah.
And then but it's like oral poison when
Wow,
when the guy eats her out, he's like, I don't know about this, and he's like, that's how good it is.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I did see a picture of a guy with a device in his asshole that it was just like a fleshlight, so it looked like he had a pussy. Like a pussy sticking out of his asshole.
I always thought that was a thing that could
He was
happen.
like, "You want to fuck my pussy?"
Yeah, I always thought that was a thing that women. I was surprised that women didn't do. Like to
They have those
put
dick expanders.
Really?
Yeah, spacers. Yeah, it's like a bigger dick, and then you fuck the little dick. You fuck the smaller hole, but then for her, it
I'm
feels
thinking
like,
the opposite, where it's a pussy inside a pussy.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's a better pussy inside your inferior pussy.
They're like, "You want to make your white pussy Asian?"
Yeah. Whoa! I didn't say anything about race.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. No, I was thinking that's so they have those.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What are they called?
I love how for you it's just a thing that goes in between the pussy and the dick, and you're like, "No, I'm not talking about a dick enlarger. I'm talking about a pussy and smaller." And it's like, it's the same fucking device.
That's true. In fact,
It's just a tube.
yeah. That's true.
You're like, "Honey, you got the wrong thing."
Yeah.
I
But
didn't mean to make my dick bigger.
yeah, I
want your
guess
pussy to be
the only
smaller.
difference is, do you put it on your dick or you put it in the pussy?
Right. I think you
Yeah.
can do either with either. Frankly.
Yeah. But let's say
Right,
let's say
does
you
it
put
move?
it.
Does it move with
let's-
the dick? It's like
yeah.
a female condom versus a male condom. Does it
Yes.
stay in there and then you fuck into it, or does it cover the outside of your dick and then then it moves with your
Yeah.
dick?
Also, what if it's supposed to go into the vagina and then you put your dick in and then you pull it out and it comes out and then it's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could be either.
Then you
yeah.
get a refund.
Yeah.
You know, but it turns out the check is
Yeah.
gaping pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
and you're like, "Fuck, man, this is."
tiny dick fixer. God
yeah,
damn it.
I share an
Yeah.
account with my mom.
Yeah. Shit. Yeah.
All right, I'm done. Are you done?
I think I'm done.
I'm done for sure.
Okay.
I'm fucking. I was up till 5 last night.
What happened?
Nothing. I went to a club and took some ketamine and had a nice time.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Did you do this with your lady?
No, she was doing something else. I did it with Ian.
Nice.
Yeah.
You go to clubs with Ian?
Very rarely, but he was like, "There's a good DJ tonight if you want to go," and we got him for free.
Oh,
and,
nice.
And then the music was nice and loud, and it's a block away from my house. And then I took some K, and I was like, "Wow, what a nice evening."
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm watching Midnight Run. Have you seen that?
No.
It's like very cheesy. Like a cheesy 80s movie with Robert De Niro trying to catch a bounty hunter.
Oh, I have seen that movie.
Yeah, or he's a bounty hunter trying to get a bounty on a
it's
guy.
got that dude from Clifford.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's got the guy who I can't remember his name. He died recently.
Older films, it really is just like a sea of nondescript white guys. Like if you watch older media, it really is just like even like SNL 10 years ago or whatever. It's like Jason Sudeikis and all these guys. It's like these people look the exact fucking same and they have the same vibe. It's just like, well, I'm just a guy.
Yes,
Pete Holmes, it's all the same.
Yeah, but what's good about that is that like a lot of them don't have like they're forgettable. You get mad at them for being whoop, 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 and you're like they're all the same. But there you go, they blend in. I mean, I don't know half those people's names.
Yeah, they're
There.
wallpaper.
Yeah,
they're wallpaper.
Yeah, it's just like just do your shitty like 60% there Joe Biden impression,
right?
And then get the fuck out of the way. You know?
Yeah.
And then let Michael Che do it.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm not talking about SNL now.
Yeah,
I'm just talking about in general. It's just a lot of mediocrity, but it all looks the fucking same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hey. Anyway.
Thanks for listening.
We forgot to hit record, didn't we?
Oh,
shit.
Fuck.
Oh, fuck.
All right.
Fuck. Did you record?
So how was the move? Yeah.
Yeah, move was good. All right. Follow me at Santiago is dead.
At Daniel Osveza.
Yeah. All right. Peace out. Bye-bye.